Okay, what about your
Cameron.
girl Michelle? Now she's the Bachelorette, or she's going to be the Bachelorette. If they called you in to help her, would you do it?
Absolutely. I am so excited for Michelle because I think she's going to crush this. And if
Mhm.
they call me back in to go help Michelle, I would be there in a heartbeat
Good.
because I want the best for her. And I think I told Rachel Lindsay this, I do still think that she needs to go into the season with caution after what happened this last season. And I want to be there to support her however she needs.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that I want Michelle to ask the tough questions. I want Michelle to really dive into the conversations with the men that, she will potentially be dating and end up, being engaged to. I don't know. I've just been thinking a lot about what went wrong this season and where people might be able to go forward. And I think about like intentional conversations to be had with your potential partner that should be had on the show. I mean, honestly, I think if I could go back and have these conversations with Matt, then I might have gone back and had a lot of these conversations with Matt that you don't really have, again, that's what I was saying about like an on-camera relationship is you don't really get a chance to know someone if you're not asking them the tough questions. And so
Right.
I want Michelle to be able to do that. And that's what I also mean by going in with caution. It's just, you do the vetting yourself.
Would
Do the vetting yourself.
Would you mind giving me, and if you don't want to, totally okay, but can you give me a few examples of questions that you wish you would have asked?
Yeah, I thought this was super interesting, but Matt is a very religious person and Matt and I never talked about religion. Again, you have such limited amount of time and interaction with the person that you're dating. And I wish I would have talked to him about that. I consider myself to be a spiritual person, but that could have easily been a deal breaker for him, and that's not something that we talked about because, we each have our own priorities, especially when it comes to a relationship. And that wasn't, my first priority to talk about, but I also learned that was his. I don't think that he would have, been like, sorry, Brie, it's not going to work out because you're not religious. But I don't know, maybe we would have.
But if he didn't bring it up, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so you about to be with Michelle making lists like, okay, so this matter, this don't matter, this really matter. You got to ask about this. Yeah. You're going to make those lists with Michelle. Yes. I love that girl power.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right, so we're going to play a game with you, but before we do, give us your biggest takeaway from being on the show.
Yes, that you learned about yourself, that you learned about other people, anything.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway about this was, again, I think the fact that I could have both a career and a love life because I was so torn on the show about one or the other. And, while I would have loved to have both on the show, ideally I had to end up choosing. But I walked away from the show knowing that I could have both, knowing that if I, let's say, found love, then I could have gone back to my career. Or even if I didn't find love, I can still go back to my career because it just made me realize that while my career was important to me and is important to me, so is having a family down the line. So is having a partner down the line. And I want to be able to balance both of those things and balance family and friends at the same time. So I think that was my biggest takeaway this season.